All right, we're definitely live. What's going on, everybody? Heavy Metal Hotep back with another video for y'all. Hope everybody had a great day today. That Monday's going well. Off to a good start for the week. Hope everybody's night's going well as well. So, um, tonight's episode is going to be about basically just being thankful. Um, I'm not going to be on here too long. We're just going to get right into it. But before we get started, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share this video. Um, yeah, still trying to get to 1,000 subs, and we keep growing. So I appreciate you guys for that. But yeah, other than that, let's get into the video. So I figure, since it's holiday week for a lot of people are, celebrating, Christmas and, whatever. In particular, when it comes to, I want to say like Christmas, right? When it comes to that particular holiday, you spend time with family, you exchange, gifts, cards, whatever. You basically are giving people things, receiving things as well. And I think it's just important to really talk about being thankful and being grateful for the things that you have, when it comes to being motivated on, by different things or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, being the main point of this show. I think it's important to take a step back and really think about the things that you do have, whatever you're fortunate enough to have or be a part of, whatever that may be. It could be a lot of different things, because you got to understand that, not everybody's lives are different. We all have different things in our lives, as well as not having certain things in our lives, right? So, at the end of the day, you just think about basically, um, when you're focused on, say, trying to achieve whatever goals that you set for yourself, um, you might think that, you might come to a point where you think, I'm dang, I wish, I had this. If I had, X amount of dollars, or if I had, this device, this would help me get to this point. And, that very well may be true. However, I mean, we can go in and just talk about, what's going on with the podcast and how, like, this channel, I'll use, this channel for an example in this series, right? Like, I'm sitting there, before, getting into this YouTube bag, basically, in this whole thing, I'm thinking, I'd always thought about, basically, basically, doing a YouTube channel, but I was always trying to figure out, well, how to go about it. And I mean, there's no real specific way to go about it, right? But they came to a point where I'm just thinking about, like, man, well, I kind of need a webcam. I need this, I need that. And I'm sitting there thinking, and it dawned on me, like, mind you, I haven't bought a camera specifically for the podcast and YouTube, I already had one. And I thought about it, and I'm just thinking, like, well, why not just use what I already have? Why not just figure out a way? And then I thought about, I was like, well, I do have a camera, right? I went to college. For a while, I was going for graphic design, and we had a couple photography classes I had to take. So I have a DSLR camera, right? It's a Canon. It's okay. It's nothing flashy, or you know for in terms of a camera, it's not one of the super expensive ones. You know what I'm saying? But it gets the job done essentially, right? Does what it's supposed to do, and it does it well. But anyway, so excuse. So I'm thinking, like, well, instead of focusing on me not having a camera I'm going to specifically use for YouTube, why not just use the camera that I have, right? And it's just the fact that I'm, grateful that I don't have to, that like with the giveaway and everything that we did, going out of pocket for that, you're like, you know, spending money to eventually, make money. Eventually I want to get monetized. And at the end of the day, if it wasn't for me realizing and looking at what I already have and understanding that that was going to be enough as it is, we're sitting here live streaming with it. All it just took was a little know-how, If it wasn't for that, and I just said, I'll just, I don't have a camera I'm going to specifically use for YouTube. I don't have a webcam specifically, so I don't have that. So I'm going to just go ahead and wait on it, and then I'm going to eventually get it. I could have done that, but what if I had, right? I wouldn't be streaming, with you guys right now. So it's really important to make sure that taking a step back and looking maybe at the tools you already have at your disposal, the tools you already have at hand, it's easy to overlook when you think of things that you don't have. It's easy to for whatever reason, we tend to just focus on like negatives a lot of times, right? Like what we don't have or what isn't good or what could be bad, as opposed to thinking about, okay, I could use these different things to get to said goal, but do I already have stuff? Was I already blessed with these different things? What am I already blessed with that I can actually use, right? And I think that me using the camera on the podcast is a perfect example of not having to not instead of looking outward constantly, looking inward. If that makes any sense. And that applies to a lot of different things. It's funny how it actually applies to just being thankful for the things that you have, right? So personally, like, I believe that being grateful and being thankful, it can put things into perspective for you, right? It can oftentimes, and we kind of already went over this, right? Oftentimes it can shine a new light on a situation or something that you may not have initially thought of. You can sit there and just, again, taking a step back, you just sit there and you think about what are the things that you already have, and one, how are they making your life better, and two, what are the benefits of having these things? And it doesn't have to be, obviously physical things. It could be knowledge, And so personally, from personal experience, it honestly does help shed new light on different things and help you look at different things from a newer perspective, or a perspective that you didn't think of, and that really just touches on what we were just discussing right now. So I think that another thing to think about when you're talking about being grateful, right, is understanding that you might think, you might be down in the dumps, and you might think that um things are really bad right now and you have it really bad, and that may be the case. I'm not going to sit here and say people don't have unfortunate situations just because they have some stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, that's a leap to get to that conclusion. Oh, well, you have stuff, so you must feel good. Doesn't really work like that, right? But anyway, like, some people do have it worse off than you, and that's not to say or take away from your situation, or to say that you don't have it bad, but you got to understand that even when you have situations that may not be the greatest or just outright suck, right? It will help a lot of times to think about, again, how your current situation is good. And if you can't think of anything like that, like let's say it's just a horrible situation, right? Do you have your health? Are you still here? Are you still alive? Do you still have a job? Do you still have food to eat? You know what I'm saying? And like, even if you don't have all of those things, like let's say you don't know where your next meal is coming from, I've known people that have been there, personally, I've been there, or you don't have a place to stay, like those situations, they really do, like they're super unfortunate, and a lot of times they are some of the worst situations to be in. But with that being said, what are some things that you do have that maybe can help you get out of that situation? Do you have the knowledge to, let's say, go to a certain office that might find you a place to stay, right? And if you don't have it, how can you get it? I think that one of the best things that we have as far as um just having certain things in our lives is like our minds, right? That's honestly something that no one can really take from you. You know what I mean? That's why knowledge is so valuable. That's why this channel is about knowledge of certain things, certain um abilities that you can learn mentally um to help you accomplish your goals. And there's a lot of different things out there, right? I mean, most of which I'd say I don't even know because there's so many, right? I'm only giving you guys the things that I personally experienced or learned from other people, or I've seen other people go through, or just learned from being around different people, interacting with these, different types of people, different groups, from all walks of life. Eventually, I'll talk to you guys about like different parts of my life, even just in the past like 5, 6 years, right? To where I gained this type of knowledge of in terms of interacting with others and like in a social setting, right? Oh, excuse me, and just people in general. But essentially, if you have nothing else, knowledge is always something that you can have and gain access to. And it can always, keyword is can, it can always be to the betterment of you, right? It could also be to your detriment. They say ignorance is bliss. Sometimes there are certain things we'd rather not know, but I mean that's for people that kind of fear the truth. Me personally, I want to know. You know what I'm saying? I don't like if there's something that I should know about, you know what I'm saying? Regardless, I want to know about it. You know what I'm saying? Whether I like it or not. But at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, no matter how bad your situation is, I mean, knowledge is like that one thing. Information is that one thing that can get you out of it, really. Information such as where to go to fix having, regular meals, where to go to fix your living situation, right? Where to go to get a meal right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people make jokes about, like if you ever want to know something about a city or where to go to do this, do that, find your local crackhead, right? I mean, and that is a running joke. Some of you may have heard that before, but to be honest, it's crazy. That is rooted in some truth. I mean, listen, you got to understand when you have people, and we'll just stick to crackheads, right? We're not going to go on every single person that might be, struggling with addiction or whatever. We're just going to talk about, like, because it's a running joke, right? In different circles. And yeah, it happens to be that there is some truth behind that. I mean, you gotta think about it. If you got someone that's a crackhead and they're living out on the street, right? And let's say that they've been like that for years, right? You will find people like that. Well, how the hell are they still alive? Right? You gotta think about it. They know where to get a meal somewhere, and honestly, getting down to the real details of that, and I know like this is going off, you know, a little bit of a tangent, but I want to emphasize how important information is, because that is something that I'm talking about for people that are super down on their luck, right? How having information, again, being thankful for that and grateful for that is definitely something to be grateful for, because again, look, your local crackhead is going to tell you, oh, well, you know, this soup kitchen, you know, they open up at, you know, if you want to go get some breakfast, they open up at 9 o'clock. You know, the line will be long, so, you know, make sure you get there at 8 or whatever. You're going to be standing outside anyway, stuff like that. Or, you know, and then you can come back for lunch or dinner or whatever. They'll know. Trust me, they know where to get a free meal. Um, but, you know, so again, like going from the to the extreme of being like super, super down on your luck, um, where you might think you have nothing to be grateful for because you think that you have nothing. Well, at the end of the day, if you're still alive, kicking, and coherent, cognitive, you still have knowledge and are able to gain knowledge, and that is even something to be thankful for, because that is knowledge that can get you from where you were yesterday to a little bit better, right? And then a little bit better from there, right? A little bit better from there. And if this is the standard to being on your feet, right? The knowledge that you gain and how to and the know-how, if you have that and you apply it, it's one thing to just have the information and know it, but if you're not applying it and putting in the work, then obviously it's not going to do anything for you, right? But the know-how to do that and then applying it, that is something to absolutely be thankful for, because without it, how would you have gotten, let's say, back to where you used to be before you were down on your luck or whatever happened to you? So you gotta understand, like, even people that may have less than you, they even have something to be thankful for. Even if on the outside you're looking and it's like, dang, they have nothing. You know what I'm saying? They wearing rags. You know, they're just out there and nowhere to go. You know, you might have information that can help them. So trust me, if you give them that information or you give them info that is going to help them move to the next step as to getting out of their situation, you know, you best believe more than likely they're going to be thankful for that. And another reason why being grateful and being thankful, I think is important, um, is because it can also uplift your spirits. I mean, we're kind of touching into a little bit of each of these points in my notes here. Um, and I don't want to run this for too long. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure you guys got other things that you want to do or have to do, right? But I do want to say, and by the way, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you like what's going on, you know, like what we're talking about in here, you know, definitely share the video. So again, it can uplift your spirits, right? It can take you from a place of sorrow, you know, depression or whatever, and then you start to realize the certain things that you do have, the certain things that, even little things, small things, right? It doesn't have to be anything large, you know. We ain't talking about a freaking PS5 here or anything like that, right? Little things, even. Um, the fact that somebody hit you up and say, you know, just asked how you were doing, right? Just checked up on you. Little things like that. Being thankful for that, you know, even if it's just one person, you feel me? I think that, again, that's something to be thankful for. And when you start to think of these little things, it'll definitely, like, things that we tend to overlook a lot, right? When it comes to being grateful. From my own personal experience, you know, like, to me seeing how other people are, right? I don't know, like, it's just something that we tend to do. Why? I'm not too sure. But I do see it. I used to see it at different times within me, and then I also seen it with other people in the past, you know. But if we do focus on those things, or just take a step back and think about like the little things that we do have in life that are positive, it will uplift your spirits and it will make you feel better because you at least understand that you have these things. You have these things that are certain things to cherish or value. I mean, how can you be thankful for something if you without value? Without valuing it, you can't really truly be thankful anyway, right? So, definitely being grateful and being thankful for things and thinking about these things, dwelling on them and understanding that you have them and that they are positive points in your life can definitely uplift your spirits. If you take that seriously, it definitely can. Um, Also, it can help you to motivate. It also motivates you to help others too, right? When you start thinking of the things that you do have and the things that you're grateful for, and what you do have and excuse me, what you do have and appreciating those things, right? You might look at others that may be less fortunate in certain circumstances, right? And you might think, well, kind of goes back to even just as much as giving out information, right? Especially good info that might be tried and true or really help someone or work in their life if they apply it, right? You might you might think you might take a look around and see people that are struggling with certain things, and as you see different people, you're eventually going to come across people that might be struggling with something that might be your expertise or might be something that you're well versed in, and understanding that they can get through or overcome or work out whatever problems they're having or whatever they're trying to work on. You'll find that you'll want to help a certain person get through these things. Granted, if they are someone that you want to help, I mean, if they're a douche, you probably won't be very inclined to help them. But I'm talking about just people that aren't like that, that aren't negative. They're just struggling with something, and you just happen to be well versed or just know a little bit about what they're struggling with. You can offer your help to them, um, and you'll understand that at one point you might have been there too. You might not have had the information or the skills required to accomplish or achieve a certain goal, and you did that, and now you're seeing someone else struggle with that. um you might understand, being thankful that you had the skill set to accomplish whatever specific thing you were trying to. You might all that Being thankful for that might also actually motivate you to want to help that a certain person with that same problem or that same issue or even a similar issue, right? um because you'll understand and appreciate what that did for you, that information or what that little, X amount of money or that certain device that you needed, how it helped you get through whatever little issue you had in your plan or whatever. Um, One, like, if you're truly thankful for that, I mean, you'll understand, you'll see someone in that same position or a similar position and think, well, I really appreciated how, let's say, someone else helped you, right? And then you end up doing the same for that person. You pass the blessing down, essentially, right? So sometimes being grateful for different things, or truly being appreciative um, of certain things in your life or certain things that you already have, can sometimes motivate you to want to help others that don't have access to info or the tangibles, or a certain type of device or program that would help them or benefit them in some way, shape, or form. So, one second, y'all, I'm just taking a look at my notes. So, being grateful, I'm not going to spend too much time on this part because again, we touched on this a little bit already. You know, it can help your overall situation, right? It can start to put things again into perspective. It can start to put things into perspective for you to the point where now um, you're focusing on the things that you do have and you're using those tools or whatever info that you remembered that you already have for your benefit to get through whatever it is you're trying to get through or accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. So essentially, you're now taking the things that you truly appreciate and understand that you do have. One, it was realizing that you have these things, right? The second thing was being able to appreciate that you have those things. Now, the third thing is, since you appreciate that you have these things, understanding that these things might be able to help your overall situation as opposed to just focusing on what you don't have and what you. And I'm not sitting here saying, you know, if you're trying to get to a certain achievement and you don't have that right now, I'm not saying don't focus on that. I mean, obviously, you know, keep your eyes on the prize. You know, if you're trying to get to a bag, whatever that bag may be, you know, obviously focus on getting to it. But don't get caught up so much in the fact that you're not there yet. That focusing specifically on the fact you're not there yet without um well, yeah, really, just that is not necessarily going to help you get to it, right? More so, focusing on how to get to it is going to help you, right? So, essentially, focusing on what you don't have or what you quote unquote can't do, is not really going to do anything for you, right? Rather, try focusing on what you already have and how that is beneficial to your life, and essentially go on and use that to apply that to your current situation. And I think you'll find that if you can, right? I'm not saying that this is universal where it's just okay, well, I appreciate the things I have, this is gonna, because that it's going to work in a multitude of ways. I mean, I'm not saying that there's like that's not really the point here, and I don't really necessarily think that that's a thing. What I'm saying is that um there's a good chance, right? Chances are you're going to find that you are focused on the good things that you have, and you, because you're focusing on that, you might find little things here and there that you can find benefits out of that will help you in your overall situation or whatever has got you down or depressed at the moment. So essentially, yes, focusing on what you do have will help your overall situation. But that, I would say, that's more so how, right? Trying to explain basically why and how that would actually benefit you, essentially, right, and benefit your overall situation. Um, but yeah, you know, and again, you know, like one thing I will say is that when you're focusing on these different things, and the things that you do have, you'll find that it brings out positive energy, right? And you're surrounding yourself with positive thoughts first and foremost, right? And positive energy, and that also is going to help get you out of that situation, really, because once you are in a positive mindset, right? If you're already there mentally, that your mental state has a lot to do with the behaviors that you exhibit, right? The things that you do, how that manifests, right? And people talk about, you know, having thoughts and bringing them into reality. You know, that is, I think that's how it's done. You know, your mindset transforms your behavior, and your behaviors start to, your behavior highly impacts what happens around you, right? But because positive thoughts are subconsciously making you react differently to different things, interact differently with certain things and certain people, you tend to shape your reality. If that makes any sense. And a lot of because it's subconscious. Sometimes it can be conscious, but like when it's subconscious, I think that it ends up being subconscious because we don't really pick up on the fact that just us having a positive mindset and a positive outlook, or at least trying to keep that, I think that we tend to miss that affects our behavior patterns, right? I think that we end up just kind of bypassing that and end up, like I said before, reacting differently and interacting differently with people and different things and situations. And we think that, wow, things truly are getting better, and we kind of miss why. And if you don't want to focus on the why, I mean, that's fine, but I think it's important to understand why, so you can continue to have it happen, right? Like there was a time before me understanding this, right? And again, this kind of goes into being thankful for information, different channels that I watch, various people with different views and outlooks and points, opinions. Just sitting there listening, paying attention, deconstructing what they're saying, analyzing it to really get a good understanding of it. All of that cultivated into understanding and practicing having a positive mindset. To the point where, that's and I'm thankful for that information. I'm grateful that I had not only that I had access to it, but I was able to understand it, take it in, right? To the point where, as I was doing that, I did start to notice that things just felt better in life. And the best way I can explain that is I knew that my mindset was staying positive. Like I was aware of that, I was conscious of that. But it still kept the things, the situations that I would be in, just everyday situations, just being around certain people, it kept it positive, right? Regardless of how they were feeling or what they were thinking about. It kept me from being, like super negative, or just having negative thoughts all the time and all this other stuff, and feeling negative. And because of that, it just kept the cycle going, to the point where I was aware, hey, this is working. I need to keep doing this. So then I worked even harder and was more cognizant of that going on with me mentally, so I could keep this up, as opposed to, and it was just in practice, right? It was over a period of time. So I would say that that's an example of being thankful, to even like just really small finite things that honestly end up making a big impact, like just info in general, like I could tell you, like some of the people like I've been watching, I mean for years, right? And some new people too, like Hotep Jesus, Uncle Hotep, shout out to them, and their channel. If you haven't watched or aren't even familiar with Hotep's Been Told You, I highly recommend that you check their content out. There's a lot of good info that gets dropped there, and I really think that even if you don't agree with what they're saying, you at the very least get a very good perspective of the Hotep community, MTR, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, like, that dude talks about a lot of interesting stuff, and he says that, it's for entertainment purposes, but there's some facts in there, right? Like there's some jewels in there, definitely check out his channel too. Because at the end of the day, these are people that like are spreading, like are giving light to different outlooks and viewpoints that really either have been shunned by, like, I would say, like the popular opinion and viewpoint, the mainstream opinion and viewpoint, mainstream media, like a lot of like these different viewpoints and hot takes have been shunned just because, or just not talked about because it's like, it's not the popular thing to talk about or focus on. It's not the what I'm looking for. It's not the mainstream viewpoint that you'll normally see. What's the video going? Are we stopping every few seconds? No, we're good. Video's good. All right. But yeah, so those are the people that like I check out. Listen, I mean, you know, there's also Amazing Lucas, but me, like, he gets into it, right? He gets into it, but his comedy level's a little bit up more than like these other channels, right? Still great content, still being objective and speaking facts, but he adds more, like, and I don't know if he tries to, but I just think like some of his reactions on certain things is just, it's just too funny. It's hilarious. But we've been going for like 34 minutes. We're gonna end this soon. Oh, okay. No, we're right on schedule. All right. So again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure that y'all turn on notifications, that you can keep up with the videos that I go live on or anything else that I do. And again, share it. If you like what we're talking about, definitely give this video a share. But anyway, so we're about to close the stream. But before we go, I have a challenge for you guys, right? So what I want y'all to do is, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, whichever, 5 things, right? I want you to write down 5 things that you're grateful and thankful for, right? And just try this for a week and, you know, see what happens. But don't do this with the viewpoint in mind that you're doing it for something to specifically work. I know that sounds weird to say, but don't focus on it working. Focus more on the fact that you're thankful for these things. So I want you guys to write down 5 things that you're thankful for, right? Do this for a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever. And just focus on that and see what happens naturally. Don't go looking for it. When it comes to you and you think, oh, this changed, cool, awesome. But write down 5 things that you're thankful for, right? Read these things. Try to, right? I know we're busy and we all have lives. Try to read these things every morning before you start your day, right? Read these things before you start your day. And do this every day for at least a week, if not longer. And if these things if that doesn't help, even just a little bit, right, of your overall situation, shoot me a DM if you want. If you feel comfortable, tell me what happened, tell me what's going on, and we could talk about it. But I can't stress this enough. Write down 5 things that you're thankful for and read them every morning for at least a week, right? And just see, I mean, really, like, when you read these things in the morning, don't just read them, all right, we're done, and then just start getting ready. I mean, really read them and understand up here those things that you're thankful for and why you're thankful for them, right? Reinforce those 5 things that you have, right? Reinforce those things and see what that does, right? And even if it does help even a little bit, right? If you want to DM me and tell me about your experience, go for it, right? My DMs are always open. But I want you guys to do that. It's a challenge for you guys. And I want to see if that helps your whatever you guys are going for or trying to accomplish or going through. I want to see if that helps your overall situation, even just a little bit. So do that for me, and more so do that for yourself, because I personally think that it'll help you guys. To what degree? We could talk about that too, but I think that my goal is to, even if I'm just helping you guys just a little bit, you know, that is enough for me. You know, I want to be able to, with these videos, I want to be able to help people try these things or be able to understand these things better and apply that to their own lives and situations, you know, for better or for worse. And if it just helps, someone even just a little bit, then I, feel completely grateful for that. That's what I want to do. Um, all right, yeah. So that's gonna be the end of the video, guys. Again, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks everybody for coming through. If you guys checking this out later on, again, hope you enjoyed what you watched. If you want to like, definitely give this video a like. Hit that subscribe button, share it. It's free, right? It don't cost you nothing. Yeah, that's gonna do it for the video, guys. And once again, I hope everybody's having a good night, and I will see you guys next week. Take care, everyone, and peace.